Hi everyone, it's Deidre again, and I'm getting ready to start a series on paddleboarding. I began paddleboarding this summer. I started with this first board that I bought for myself for my birthday back in May, and the season is coming to a close here in North Carolina, so I was able to pick this board up on sale last week. So I've already had this board out as well, and I wanted to spend some time on this series sharing with you some of the experiences I had this summer as a first-time paddleboarder, the things I've learned, the different equipment that you might choose to have, and I think in the series I'll even talk about these two boards individually. There are reasons why I love both of these boards. This is NSB Elements, and this is a liquid shredder bamboo. And I started with this one, and there are a lot of things I still really love about this one. So today I'm just going to talk about accessories for your paddleboard, things that you might consider if you're purchasing a paddleboard new that you might find helpful, and things that I realized through the season that I did need. Okay, one of the first things that I want to talk about is your deck rigging on your paddleboard. Some of the paddleboards you'll find already have some type of deck rigging. And what that is it's a storage area at the front of your board that you can use while you're out on your paddling excursions. As you can see on the NSB, they actually have little rods in here that I can go ahead and attach bungee cord and have a rigging system. So this board's really all set, and I've learned that that's something you really want to do. Anytime we go out paddleboarding, it's generally a 2 or 3 hour excursion. Even at an hour, hour and a half, you probably do want to store some items. And if you do yoga on the paddleboard, which I tried that this summer as well, you do want a place that you can put your paddle so that it doesn't float away. Mine does float, fortunately, but I did realize that with the yoga as well, you just really need a point that you can put items that you don't need right that minute. So on this board, when I got it at the beginning of the summer, I knew it did not have a deck rigging on it, and I was okay with that because, one, I didn't know, I didn't think I would need it. So as I used the board through the summer, I thought, well, you have to have a place to store things. So what I did for this board was I figured at some point I would do something more permanent in the board like these are. But short of that, I wanted to figure out where I wanted the rigging, how much rigging I needed, and to do that, I bought these rigging suction cups. And these are made by a company called SUP Things. And they make this one that has 4 touch points, and then they make another that has 6 touch points. So you can actually put more items here. Now, I've used these, and I tell you, I've loved them. I mean, they've been just what I needed. When I go out for the day, I put them on. I don't leave them on. I'm afraid if you were to leave them on, then maybe the shape that allows them to stay firmly planted on the board would kind of flatten out, and then maybe you wouldn't get that suction ability. So what I would do is before I would go out, I'd put these on here, took 2 minutes, go out, and they never came off. And I've seen other reviews where people say they've kept them on for the season, and they work really well. So again, these are made by SUP Things, and this is more of a temporary rigging if you don't want to put anything permanent, or if you want to try out a type of rigging scenario before you do commit to something permanent. So what I am going to do in this series is I am going to go with a more permanent rigging system here. And I have something, and I have a product that I'm going to share with you, and that will be a separate video. So if you're starting out paddleboarding, tip number 1, get some type of rigging. I started out with just a waist belt with a water bottle, and that really gets in the way with your life jacket, and I do support wearing your life jacket. You never know what's going to happen. So being able to get that off my waist, put water there, or whatever else I needed was very helpful. Okay, so other items. When we would go out, we would generally take some sandwiches, some snacks, extra water. I take a camera, I take a lot of other things with me. And many of you know about dry bags from camping experiences. Well, I found that this 10-liter size of a dry bag was just perfect for taking out paddleboarding. As you can see, I don't have anything in this right now, but I would have that full, extra sunscreen, all kinds of things. And that just very simply fits under whatever your rigging is. And that 10-liter dry bag I thought was the way to go. You still have room here if you need to stick your paddle there, if you're going to do some yoga, or shoes. I unfortunately had a pair of flip-flops taken off the shore. I was very trusting, but now I always put my shoes in my rigging as well. So this 10-liter dry bag, I'll put a link to it. I think there's several companies that make good ones, so I don't think we're limited to this one. This one did have a waterproof phone case that would tether to it. Right here's the ring to tether to it. I didn't do that. I have a waterproof camera that I take out, and I leave my phone. I actually try to go out when I paddleboard and don't think about my phone. So I can't attest to how good this is, but it does come with this bag. And the last thing that I really gave some thought to this summer while I was paddleboarding are the fins. When you purchase a paddleboard, the fins are going to come with a pretty rigid fin. And there are a couple reasons why you might think about, both for safety and where you're taking your board, that you might want a fin that's more flexible. And there were a couple instances this summer where I thought, I'm afraid I'm going to break that fin. I'm going to get some flexible fins, and I did. So I'm going to switch out the fins on one of these boards, and that'll be a video. I'm going to give you some good pointers on when you need these fins. So that pretty much summarizes this introductory video to the series. If you want to see reviews on the boards, stay tuned for those. I have good reasons why I love them both. And you don't need a lot when you go out paddleboarding, but I do recommend a dry bag and a rigging kit and your life jacket and a good hat. So that made for a great summer for me, and if any of you are considering paddleboarding, I hope this helps you out. Take care till next time.